Truly, Jesus Christ is the way to peace in this world and eternal life in the world to come. He knows us and loves each of us perfectly and invites us to walk with Him, abide in Him, and follow His example of ministering to others one by one in charity and love.
Welcome back to another episode of Thinking Celestial, a Follow the Prophet podcast, where we review General Conference talks. It's the summer semester. It's season 8, or the summer semester of 2026, and it's moving right along. We're so excited about the gospel and about Institute and about General Conference specifically. And I've been waiting for this talk. I'm so excited because I love Elder Kearon. He's just adorable, I think is the word. And with me today is Lizzy McEvoy.
McEvoy.
Lizzy McEvoy. Sorry about that. Welcome, Lizzy. Thanks for coming back and recording again. I appreciate it. We're going to be reviewing About His Business by Elder Patrick Kearon, and it's obviously from the April 2026 General Conference. And just maybe a heads up, this we're going to do a shift in this podcast. Very small and minor, but you're going to see an alteration of both our branding and name and logo, just to make it something so that we can more like we can go through prophets over the years. We're going to change our name. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but we're going to do that starting fall semester, so season 9. But for now, we're still Thinking Celestial, and we are still learning about the gospel through General Conference as well, and that's going to be the main key for everything. But anyway, so I'm excited. Well, welcome today.
Yeah.
What news do you have? You told me a little bit, but maybe share it again about what you're about to accomplish in 36 days or something like that.
Yeah. I got called to the Vitória, Brazil mission, and I start home MTC in 36 days.
Oh, man.
So I'll do home MTC until the 1st of July when I will be in Brazil at that MTC.
Now, I think tell me I'm wrong. You've probably done your research, but I think the seasons are swapped in Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Summer's when it's cold.
Yeah, so you're going to get there, and it's going to be 100 degrees in Utah, and it's not going to be 100 degrees in Brazil, right? It's going to be a little more cool, so that's fun. That'll be exciting for you. Well, biggest excitement.
Biggest excitement?
Yeah.
Oh,
like what are you most jazzed about?
I don't know. I guess sharing the good news. It's exciting. Talking about Jesus is the best.
It is.
And I've also never been out of the country. So that is going to be so fun.
And then are you going to the Brazil MTC as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
There's
so
one
you're
in Brazil
about to
now.
feel it 100%,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
New breakfasts, new places.
Uh-huh.
It'll be great. That's
Yeah.
exciting. All right. And what are you most nervous about?
The Portuguese. Portuguese is hard.
Okay, it's basically Spanish in your nose. That's what it
But
sounds
I
like to
never
me.
learned
Hard.
Spanish.
Yeah. My son speaks Portuguese, and when he speaks it, I'm like, that sounds a little bit like Spanish, but in my nose.
Yeah, some words are like Spanish and some words are just like completely not
Yeah,
like Spanish
absolutely
at all.
different. Well, it's going to be a fun experience. It's going to be an adventure. My only advice is go all in. To every missionary who's going out in the mission field, my advice is to choose as soon as you can to fully dedicate. It's not easy because not everybody chooses it, and you have to learn to navigate that. I have a daughter now in Nashville, Tennessee, on her mission, and she is learning a lot. And she's learning that even in Nashville, it's a different country, it seems, than Utah. So, but talking about Jesus is the best. So that's exciting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. Okay, great. Well, you were in Institute, and I'm sure you're going to probably take some Institute classes this summer.
Not this summer. I don't have time.
You're going to ponder potential Institute classes.
I'm going to wish I could take Institute class.
Well, what you'll do is listen to Thinking Celestial, the podcast, because it's a commute Institute kind of thing. But, just share one of the things that Institute was valuable for you. Why you would recommend somebody who is hearing this podcast for the first time should try out an Institute class here at Salt Lake Community College.
My favorite thing was everyone's just so nice. Like, you come in and everybody's your friend. All the teachers, I didn't even have half of the teachers. I had one teacher both semesters I was here, and I know Burbidge, I know Dalton, I know all the other teachers because they just, like, are around and say hi.
There's always
So,
something going on.
Yeah, there's
Right.
always something going on. There's food.
Right.
Institute's just a good time.
We're trying something new this summer as well called workshops. And workshop classes are basically short form 4-week classes that you can jump in and jump out of anytime. And they're always topical and a little bit different. Like I'm doing one on C.S. Lewis and I'm doing one on temples and unlocking the temple. And they're only 3 or 4 weeks each. So it's it's nothing that's like committed. You can come or go as you please. And even your schedule. If one of those,
I'll have to come.
yeah,
C.S.
if
Lewis
one of those,
sounds good.
yeah, it's called a mere discipleship. That's kind of a play on his mere Christianity.
Oh.
But I'm going to look at a few different things that C.S. Lewis taught, and we'll probably look at the book The Great Divorce. There's a few moments in the Chronicles of Narnia that are very, very connected. And obviously some of his maybe lesser known essays that ought to be known about that we'll share. Of course, it's short, so it's not a long-term thing, but definitely fun. And if anybody's listening to this who's like, maybe I'll give it a try, but I don't want to commit, that's totally fine. Just show up. The classes are all day and throughout the afternoon and evenings. There's always evening activities. Just go to myinstitute.churchofjesuschrist.org and find the Taylorsville Institute of Religion on the Redwood campus and just look at what we've got and come and be a part of it. It's a thing that I think is worthwhile. And according to our prophet, something we really should do. So follow the prophet and come to Institute, please. All right, well, let's talk about Elder Kearon. And his adorable accent and the joke he made about being a Clark, right? And then Elder Clark later on talking about being a Clark, which is hilarious. What was the thing that had you choose this talk? I mean, you right off the bat, you're like, this is the one I want. Let's talk about it. What was the one that got you to this?
Well, Elder Kearon is obviously everybody's favorite, just off the bat. And I actually met him when I was at the Taylorsville Temple the other day.
Wow.
So.
Okay, stop. How? You're just walking to the temple and there's Elder Kearon. He's doing a session with you.
I was walking out of the temple.
Okay.
So we went and did our
little
session.
Old Taylorsville. Like this,
Taylorsville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just little old Taylorsville.
Yeah,
And there's
so
Elder
I was
Kearon.
like, I was walking out of my session. I had just gotten changed. And my family, we were like, well, do we want to go to sit in the Celestial Room for a little bit? Or do we want to go to Cafe Rio before they close? And I was like, Mom, you can't tempt me with Cafe Rio.
Cafe Rio is for the win.
And so we decided we were going to go to Cafe Rio.
Yeah.
Long story short.
Yeah.
And so
Of course.
we go get changed and we're going into the little area with couches,
Yeah, a little waiting area.
Yeah,
sure.
the little waiting area outside the dressing rooms. And there's Elder Kearon. I was like, Mom, look.
It's Elder
It's
Kearon.
Elder Kearon. And she was like, do you want to go say hi? I was like, yeah.
Did you get him to sign your temple bag?
No. That would have been so funny.
It would have been awkward and weird and something that you should probably never do. But still, that's just sort of a joke.
Oh, he's so not awkward about meeting new people.
He's
It's
very warm and friendly.
Yeah. He
And it's-
acts like your friends already. He just was
Yeah.
we went up to him and he was like, "Oh, hey." Not even hi, who are you? He was
He's like,
just
"Hello,
he
it's
was
a friend."
"Oh, hey, how are you doing?"
Yeah, we've had many leadership activities and experiences where he's been there and he's just as authentic as you get, a disciple in every way. So that's great. That's great.
Yeah, and he was joking with me. We asked if we could take a picture after we'd talked for a while, and I told him about my mission, and he was joking around with me. He was like, "You don't even know Portuguese yet? Come on, you gotta know Portuguese." And my dad was like, "Yeah."
They're all agreeing.
It's been 2 weeks and she's not even fluent yet.
There.
I was like, "Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. I'm not fluent yet."
Oh man, I love it. I love it.
And so we went, and he sobered up, and he was like, "I'm really proud of you for going on a mission. Sisters are literally the reason I'm here right now."
Yeah, they are. So I'm not sure if you knew this. He joined the church as a young single adult in London.
Yeah.
My daughter was served in that very ward, and later on, several years later, it was okay, so my daughter-in-law is not Elder Kearon's age, but she served in that very ward, and the man who was part of his conversion story was in that ward as well. And
So she knew him?
Yeah. And it's just, and the thing is, they're all just so authentic. Like, and
Yeah.
my daughter was bringing people to the church in the same ward that he was in, and they were young single adults, male young single adults who were
Yeah.
trying really hard to follow Jesus. And that's who Elder Kearon was. And so,
Yeah.
like, missionary work actually happens. And I think that sometimes is a unique thing, especially
Yeah.
if you leave the bubble or leave the Utah kind of world. Some missionaries are like, wait a minute, people are actually looking for the gospel. Like, they are all
Yeah.
the time, by the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands. And believe it or not, don't be shocked if you're surprised too. Maybe you won't be, because you're like all prepared and stuff. But I think people leave this area, and so Elder Kearon is one of those guys.
Yeah.
And there's more down. There's just hundreds, and so it's fun to watch that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it's
let's
so
talk
cool.
about his talk. What was the thing that stood out to you in this address that made you want to really talk about it?
I think the thing that stood out is his whole talk was about something that we kind of see as mundane.
Yeah.
We're like, most of the time when you're sustaining somebody or you're like welcoming somebody to the ward, it's like, oh, I'm gonna raise my hand. Who just got
It's like
got sustained?
perfunctory, right? It's
Like-
just something we do.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I wasn't listening. Who just got a calling?
Yeah, but just
As your
raise their
hand's already going up, like it's not something we think of as like, whoa, this is the craziest thing ever. Like,
Right.
but it is the craziest thing ever.
So
Like if you think about it, we're constantly getting revelation and giving people callings. Like that is a
Yeah.
huge thing.
I love it. And I love the idea that it's something that we're supposed to do, even though it's a little awkward in our life. Like, oh, okay. So the reason why I say that is because when I served as a bishop, we talked about this before we recorded, but
Yeah.
I thought it was actually pretty interesting because and maybe you can help me understand it better through our conversation. But there's a process that when someone is new to the ward, the presiding person or the conducting person is supposed to read their name and then welcome them, and then invite the congregation to welcome them as well. Now, it would make sense if everybody just said, "Hi, friend," like an AA meeting or something. But what we do in the church is weird. Everybody raises their hand to welcome them. And I've thought that's the weirdest way to welcome somebody. Unless I'm waving at someone, the raise of the right hand is more of a covenant process as opposed to a way to welcome someone. I don't like when my family comes home or a new person comes to my house or when we met for the first time a while back.
Yeah.
I didn't raise my right hand and go, welcome. I like an alien.
Yeah, that'd be
we shook
crazy.
hands, we talked, we got to know each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's supposed to still happen in wards. I mean, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
this idea of the entire congregation raising their right hand in sustaining welcome is unique.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, right off the bat, I mean, he talks about it. He said, this was an unfamiliar practice to me, but I looked into those smiling faces and I felt as if they were cheering me on, genuinely thrilled that I had discovered faith in Jesus Christ and a desire to follow him. What do you think about that process of sustaining? Why do we do it, in your opinion? And what is it that is more than just everybody just shaking hands and saying, hey, and get to know each other?
I think I don't know. It is a kind of a weird practice, but the first thought that I had when I was reading this talk again was he said raising their hands, and I immediately thought of Moses when they had to raise his hands
Right.
to win the battle, when they just had to keep his arms in the air
Sure.
because he couldn't do it himself. If you've ever tried to just hold your arms above your head, man, is that a workout.
And after a while, it gets really tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the story you talked about, I looked it up. We talked a little bit about it, but Exodus 17, and that's we just studied this. I think I want to say a few weeks ago in Come Follow Me or something. But essentially, it's Moses is and the people, the children of Israel, are having a battle, and the idea of this battle is that they need to win if Moses' hands are up. Verse 8 of Exodus 17. I'll read it to you. Now, while I read, will you just think about why this practice is something we now do for new members and sustaining even callings. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel at Rephidim. Okay, so that's Amalek is a person or a group of people, and Rephidim's a place. And I'm probably saying it wrong, so just, everybody calm down. But and Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in mine hand. So that's all symbolic of priesthood authority, and they're getting their marching orders from Moses, who is in charge of being, he's the prophet, and he's God's mouthpiece for these people, and he's telling them what to do. Okay, so 10. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek, and Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. So that's 3 people, Moses, and we could call them counselors, although they never call themselves that. We love to overlay our patterns on the scriptures sometimes. So let's just say Moses is the president, and Aaron and Hur are first and second counselors. They went to the top of the hill, and it came to pass. Now, here's what you said. And it came to pass that when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. In the pictures I'll show him, he'll show them 2 hands. So my guess is that there's hands instead of just hand. Like he's putting his arms up in the air, right? Mm-hmm. Which brings to mind a whole host of new things, of ways in which we make and keep covenants with God. Anyway. And it came to pass that when Moses held up his hand, we just read that, 12, but Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, either the one on one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun, and Joshua discomfited Amalek with his people with the edge of the sword. And then there's a memorial written there, and then this altar is built. What do you think? Like, why is that something we now do with our raising and sustaining a new member, or even people, like callings and stuff?
Yeah, for callings and welcoming people into the Word. I think the biggest thing is they were helping Moses keep his hands up. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we raising our right hands, we're keeping other people, helping them be strong. This world is kind of hard to be strong and keep your covenants and stay in the faith when other people are like, why are you doing that, you weirdo?
I like it.
But we're serving people and we're supporting them in their callings. Even when Elder Kearon said, we don't really know what we're doing in our callings. Sometimes you get a calling that you're like, I don't know how to be a clerk. I don't know that. Somebody's got to teach me.
Isn't that
and have
wild?
a lot of patience with me because I got nothing.
I mean, think about that. Everybody who's ever been somebody in our church as a calling, it's pretty rare they're trained to be that. A bishop, do you know what training bishops get?
Yeah, none.
No, none. You get the keys. My training when I was called to be bishop was, will you be the bishop? Yeah. Okay. We're going to set you apart. Okay. And then I got the keys to the building. And then I sat down for about an hour with the outgoing bishop, and he and I spoke about everything that I needed to know. And then that was it.
You were just the bishop then?
And then the next thing I did was meet with about 12 people that day who just all wanted to talk to me. And I was just blown away. And then the next thing I did was I cleaned out the office and looked at everything in every drawer so I could try to understand what the heck I was doing. And that took me 5 years. So, I'm fascinated by the idea of sustaining, because we could do so many things in the church. It doesn't have to be bread and water. It could be a billion other things. It doesn't have to be white clothing in the temple. It could be a bunch of other things. If God said wear clown shoes and a honking nose, and that means this, we do it, right?
Yeah.
So, but why do we do it? God doesn't need to do it. We need to do it. He wants us to do it to learn. So that raising of the right hand is a physical resemblance of the covenants we made in the temple, as well as at baptism. I mean, think about at baptism, when someone baptizes someone else, the only thing the baptizer's actually supposed to do is raise his arm to the square. That's it. The other hand-holdy parts thing, that's all just for tradition and convenience, right?
Yeah. So the person can plug their nose.
Yeah, or whatever.
And, yeah.
But the hand to the square, that is a promise.
The right hand.
The right hand, right. And so when you and I think after I'm reading this, when you and I are raising our right hand to welcome a member or to sustain somebody in a calling, especially those who are like, why did they call her to be young women's president, right? That she's like 90. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
What we're doing is saying, I now covenant to support. I've got this person's back as well. I'm going to, and I don't know that we take it as seriously as we should, but it's definitely a very serious thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
It's very serious.
Well, I love that he had a discussion about callings. I wrote in my margins this phrase in paragraph 6, if you're all following along. He said, I came to see purpose and power in each calling I received. And with hindsight, the bishop's inspiration came to make sense to me. What do you think about hindsight? You're going to Brazil. When you first saw Brazil and the city you're going to, you probably couldn't pronounce.
Yeah.
Still
don't think I can pronounce it.
Yeah. What were your first thoughts? Honest talk.
I don't know. I was just so surprised to be going out of the country. My dad and my brother both serve stateside. And so I just see Brazil and I'm like, I don't know Spanish or whatever language they speak over there. I learned French in high school.
Yeah.
I don't know that. And I've never been out of the country. So that's
it was just
crazy.
a lot of those questions, really what am I going to do here? I like it.
But I think my first thought was, I don't got this, but God does. I don't got this, but I'm on his team, so we're good.
Yeah, I'm reminded of of COVID years. My son was in Brazil, though I told you about. In the middle of his mission, he had to return home because of COVID, and that was as traumatic.
Yeah, COVID was already traumatic.
Right, as it could be, and he was personally in charge. He and the other assistant at the time were completely in charge of getting all 100 and something missionaries from wherever they were to the airport in 24 to 48 hours or something like that. And so it was, and for a while we didn't know where he was. He left the country and left his phone in Brazil, and they had just, now that mission had just gotten phones about 6 months before. So everything was so new. And then we finally got a phone call from him in Los Angeles, and it was really, really taxing. And I remember everybody coming home, and I remember feeling, what are we doing? There's nothing. Okay, so it's a worldwide sickness, but he's going to get it here or there or whatever. He's already been in the oxygen. It's just, let's finish. Yeah. And I was questioning that process a little bit in my heart. He comes home. He's home for about a month. He gets the opportunity to go back on a mission, and they gave him two choices. Choice number one, wait and go to Brazil when it's open, or finish your mission, which will probably come first, right? Or two, we'll reassign you someplace else. And he and I talked about it, and I said, well, what do you want to do? He goes, I want to go back to Brazil. I have unfinished business. And I said, I know you do, but that's probably not a choice. This is going to go on longer than you think. And so he prayed about it. He got his call, and he called me up, and he goes, well, I got my reassignment. I said, wow. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. Where in the States? Maybe Canada. And he goes, Boise, Idaho.
Oh, yeah.
And he wasn't excited. And I was like, what are you doing? He lives in Utah. Why are you sending him to Boise? And I remember questioning it again. I was questioning, without hindsight, in my heart, the calling God had given my son. He goes to Boise and has a fantastic time, meets a mission president who was exactly who he needed, grew immensely in a new place, and surprisingly enough, there was even a Portuguese branch there. So once again, I'm taught, both by Elder Kearon here, that God's callings have purposes and power. And I think there's power in remembering that my hindsight is needed to see those things. So I've got to go to the other side of whatever the Lord's asking me to do. And I promise you, there will be a time, and it will come like a lightning bolt of speed, where you're on the plane home from Brazil, and you will go, I know why God called me there. And you will remember that, and you'll remember with purpose what it is. And it will be a beautiful thing. And it's not something you're thinking of right now, I promise. You're hoping for that, but it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
So I love it.
I feel that way about moving to Texas. I know I've told you this before. Texas is kind of like my first mission. I always am talking about my time in Texas. I was only there for 3 years, but it's like my whole personality.
I love it.
But I did not want to move there. I was like just about to start high school, and I was like, I'm going to start high school across the country from where I am right now. Like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. But through a lot of prayer, I was like, okay, my parents know what they're doing, whatever, we got this. But in hindsight, I just like, I'm always talking about Texas. Like every time we're talking, I'm like,
it was impactful
well, in
for
Texas.
It was super
yeah,
impactful
it was so
for you.
impactful for me. I learned how to make friends. I learned
Friends who aren't church members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned how to talk about Jesus with other Christians from other denominations. I learned like so much, and I just like was able to talk about my religion so much more than you ever really do in Utah, because I don't know, Utah's kind of this bubble where you're like, well, they've already heard it before. Like,
At least that's the assumption.
yeah, and like a lot of people have already heard it before and are like anti.
Yeah.
And so it's like you don't talk about it as much here. But in Texas, like everyone's like, "Oh, what's your favorite scripture?" Like you walk around school and everybody's letterman either has a nickname or it has their favorite scripture on the back.
Right.
You know? And so I just like learned how to be myself.
Like, we should do that. Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
there's so many Christian related things that we could do that we don't do. And I think we should. We're a little bit afraid of it, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, we're afraid. And I think we shouldn't be.
No.
But that's what I learned from my time in Texas, is like how to share what I actually think and all of those things, and how to not be shy. And so in hindsight, that was like what I needed. It was like the perfect opportunity for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go there.
Well, what's interesting is
So-
that you didn't want to go, but you went, right? You didn't turtle up. You didn't resist. Well, maybe you resisted a little, but
bit.
not like you did. You gave in at some point. You willingly submitted. I wrote in my margins a little later on the power of willing submission to God and to a bishop. A bishop is going to ask you to do things that you're like, I have no idea. No. Why would I? You want me to do what? Right?
Yeah.
There's a calling I've always wanted. And if my bishop is listening, you're on notice, Bishop. I would love to be a primary chorister, but I don't play the piano. Right. But there are people who I've told that to who are like, no way. And sometimes those people I end up seeing as primary chorister, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll never get it. But it's a trust of the bishop, a power of humble submission that allows us to see God's hand in our life. And in fact, so paragraph 14 in the talk, he says, our service is a choice, an offering to God, and a blessing. We all know that prayer, study, and study of Scripture and worship at the church or in the temple are critical to the development of our faith. Your choice to go and be with your family, who was at that time your basically your religious leader was your mom and dad, right? And they were like, we're moving to Texas. You're like, no, it's going to be great. Just trust in the Lord. And you did. That willing trust turned that around for you. It could have really gone south for you. Like the anger and frustration, and a lot of people go and self-medicate with really bad choices and practices. Yet you chose at some point to just say, I'm going to do the best I can. And I think that's a power. So, and you're going to do that in Brazil too.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, what's one more thing we can look at in this talk that you think is important to us to understand, or what's maybe one more principle that stood out to you?
Oh, well, I thought of it a second ago. Oh, the revelation.
Okay.
How we're constantly living in that revelation. Like, do we realize that every calling is coming out of revelation? Like the bishop is praying specifically for you, about you, and what you need at this time.
I loved in the solemn assembly portion where he starts talking about the prophet. He says, nothing would have been further from the realms of possibility in his mind than becoming the president of the church. He didn't seek or aspire to it, yet it's colossal and sobering and revelatory. revelatory every time. And every time I've performed or been a part of a solemn assembly of a new prophet, I felt that revelatory sustaining, that isn't, I mean, I miss President Nelson when he became such the prophet. He was, his voice, his the way he talked, his personality, and yet we now have President Oaks. And it'll be fun to watch him blossom into that prophet that I love and will miss. Take your time, President Oaks. I'm so grateful for your participation today. It's really, really fun, and we're out of time.
Yeah, it's so fun.
But if you wouldn't mind answering the final question, which is, how has this talk helped you to think more celestially in your personal life?
I think this talk really made me find more intention in the everyday, what we think of as mundane, because it's not mundane. We live in faith that is revelatory. We're constantly receiving revelation, and we need to act on it. Like when my parents said that we were moving to Texas because they prayed about it and they felt it was right, and I was like, I'm gonna go say my own prayer. Thank you very much. But when I got the same answer, that's when I was like, okay, we're doing this, I guess.
Oh, bless you for praying about it.
So I think just like realize that callings are from revelation, and whether you accept them or not, supporting those around you who have accepted them, even if they're not the best Clark in the world, just like support them with your patience. They accepted that calling most likely because it was going to stretch them.
When 12-year-old Jesus was found by his parents teaching in the temple, he told them that he had been about his Father's business, and we can be too. Every calling, whatever it may be, is his business when embraced with a humble and willing heart and a desire to lift and comfort his children and share his good news. We are not merely filling an assignment when we respond to an inspired call, but joining the Savior of the world in his infinite redeeming work. He needs you, and he needs me. Life is better, everything is better, when we are about his business. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
The Thinking Celestial Follow the Prophet podcast series has been produced by students and faculty at the SLCC Redwood Campus Institute. To listen to other episodes in this series or to enroll in the Institute class associated with these podcasts, see our website at myinstitute.churchofjesuschrist.org and click on the Taylorsville UT Redwood page. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. This recording is not an official publication of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The views expressed are those of the participants and are neither the official doctrine nor the Church's official teachings.